If you asked me to create a NASCAR series, it would look a lot like this. These cars are things of beauty. Now this is what stock car racing is supposed to look like. No playoffs, only about a dozen points races, meaning every race is really important. Speaking of schedule, it's a great mix of short tracks, road courses, street courses, even a former airport runway. The field is a mix of veterans and young up-and-comers trying to prove themselves. And, oh, by the way, you don't need a bunch of streaming services to watch. The whole 2025 season will stream on YouTube in America. It's time I introduce you to the NASCAR Canada Series. During COVID, when I was bored with no racing to watch, I found this series on YouTube, watched the 2019 season, and thought, this is awesome. This is the Canada equivalent of the NASCAR Cup Series. It's the top stock car racing series in Canada. It used to be its own thing called CASCAR. Get it? The C stands for Canadian, although I'm sure you figured that out. Anyway, NASCAR bought the series in 2007. It's gone through a couple name changes, but a few years ago they settled on calling it what it is, the Canada Series. They race on some tracks you may be familiar with, in particular Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, aka MoSport. A truck series used to run here back in the 2010s. The Canada Series still races here twice a year, the season opener and a late season race on Labor Day weekend. Pretty much every time this series comes here, you're guaranteed to have some sort of dramatic finish. MoSport madness. I mean, just look at these cars slip sliding around this track. They look so challenging to drive, and it's so much fun to watch. Of course, short tracks are the bread and butter of this series, making up more than half of the schedule. If you've been craving some good short track racing, you may want to give this a shot. These are real short tracks. The schedule is littered with quarter miles and 1/3 miles, which means it's really hard to get away from anyone. And yes, that means you'll see some contact. Anytime I watch a Canada Series race at a short track, it reminds me of watching a race at a local short track. Now, how have I not mentioned and excuse me if I butcher this, Grand Prix des Trois-Rivières, which I'd say is the biggest race of the season. Believe it or not, this is the longest running street race in North America. Yeah, this race existed before Long Beach did. It's an interesting course. I mean, how many tracks do you see cars run through a concrete gateway like this? Long story short, I love this schedule, and these cars are perfect for these types of tracks. Let me introduce you to some of these drivers. I'll start with the defending champ, 46-year-old Marc-Antoine Camirand. Here's a guy who, until 2022, only had 2 Canada Series wins to his name. Then, for the 22 season, he joined a new team, and boy, has it made a difference. He's won 2 of the last 3 championships, and now you can count on him to win multiple races per year. By the way, remember how I said Trois-Rivières is a big deal? He's won the last 2 runnings of that race, and look at the crowd. Yeah, he's popular around there. He grew up only about a half hour away. How about the winningest driver in NASCAR Canada Series history, 3-time champion Andrew Ranger? He won the first championship in 2007, and he's won a race just about every year of this series' existence. In 2023, he went winless. Signs of slowing down? Nah, he bounced back in 2024 with 3 wins, finishing 3rd in points, only 35 behind Camirand. Who finished 2nd last year? He scored the most wins last year, and he rode a 3-race winning streak into the offseason. I'm talking about Kevin Lacroix. How has this guy not won a championship yet? He's finished 2nd in points 5 times. Lacroix has raced in this series for 10 years, winning at least once every year he's competed, and sometimes he doesn't mind using his bumper to do it. By the way, his old sponsor used to be Bumper to Bumper. Very fitting. But last year he drove his Napa Dodge. Yes, I said Dodge. They still race Dodges in this series. Where was I? Oh yeah, he drove it to 6 wins. Why didn't he take the title? 2 DNFs. And when you only have 13 races, you really can't afford to have more than 1 bad one. You can't talk about the Canada Series without talking about DJ Kennington, because he's never missed a race in the history of the series. You may remember that he ran some races in the Cup Series, but he just didn't have the right equipment. North of the border, he's put up some numbers. 2 championships, and he's tied with Lacroix for second on the all-time win list. He's 47 years old now, but still competing. And while lately he hasn't won as much as he used to, he can still get up there and contend for wins. Kennington has a new teammate this year, Ryan Vargas. You may remember him running in the Xfinity Series. Now, he's giving the Canada Series a shot this year. He'll have plenty of veterans to get experience against. There are so many other drivers who will be out there, and it wouldn't surprise me if someone I haven't mentioned gets up there and contends. But I think those are a few names you definitely need to know before the season starts. So yeah, if the Cup Series hasn't been doing much for you lately on short tracks and road courses, if you don't like the playoffs, maybe give these guys a shot. Again, every race this season will be streamed on YouTube. I know you have access to YouTube because you're watching this video right now. Oh, and speaking of that, since you made it this far, why not subscribe to my channel? More motorsports content coming your way. Thanks for watching.